Hi, welcome back to my channel. This book review is for In It to Win It by Sharon C. Cooper. And before I pop that cover up, I want to pop up a different cover. The cover that I'm putting on the screen right now is for Business Not As Usual. So right now I'm saving that image to my tablet. Business Not As Usual was what I thought was a standalone romantic comedy. And we had, I think it was the Redford family, Dreamy Daniels, and yes, Carter Redford. That was the couple that we had in Business Not As Usual. And forgive my voice, I'm getting over being ill. But this book review is for In It to Win It. And almost immediately, as I started to read this book, I started to recognize the Redford family. Because we have in this particular book, we have Morgan Redford, and she's our female protagonist. And then we have Drake Faulkner, who is our male protagonist, because this is a romance or a romantic comedy. Now, the Redford family, sorry for that hesitation, the Redford family is a very prominent Hollywood family, and they come from a lot of money. But Morgan Redford is determined to do things herself, to build her own life and not to rely on her family's money. So what she decides, she has an opportunity to enhance the work that she's already doing. What is the work that she's already doing? Well, her and her friend have their own business and they're trying to help youngsters who age out of the foster care system. Now, there's one particular young adult that makes Morgan realize the void that happens in certain young people's life. So here's the scenario. The foster care system is not the best system in the world by any stretch of the imagination. But when it does work, it protects children up until the age of 18. And then when they turn 18, then they're no longer wards of the state, and they have to make it on their own. Now, this one particular young person had a good foster mom, because that foster mom allowed her to stay until she got on her feet. But sadly, these kids, they age out of the system, and they have nowhere to go. So there is a company that is selling a property, and Morgan is one of the developers who's trying to bid for, or one of the individuals who's trying to bid for this property. And I'll tell you why, just one moment. There's a lot of people who are after this property who are also in for the bid, and one of them is Los Angeles real estate developer Drake Faulkner, who has a reason for wanting the property. But we're going to zip back to Morgan for a second. Her and her business partner, her and her friend have realized that if we get this property, we can do multiple things with it. One is we can provide housing for dozens of young adults. Two, we can do smaller businesses, which will give all of these kids jobs. And three, we might even be able to rent out part of this property for income that will help these kids. That's why she wants the property. Drake wants the property because it has sentimental value. And that sentimental value goes back to his father. And so he'll do whatever he can to acquire this property. Now, the thing is, when she approaches the meeting for the person who is putting this property up for bid, when I say she, I'm speaking of Morgan, and she looks across the table, she is shocked to see that Drake Faulkner, her ex, is up for the same property. So one way or another, she's going to get the property. One way or another, he's going to get the property. Well, that can't happen because only one person will win the bid. And then they learn that the billionaire that has the property up for sale, he doesn't have any sentimental reason for whoever he's going to offer the property to. He just wants, let the best man win or best woman win. Now, as mentioned, when you have characters like this, then you know that it is a trope. What is the trope? Second chance romance. Okay? And me reading this book, I felt like I had a little bit of connection to Morgan because I remember her brother from the first book in the series. Even though I don't know about fantastic fiction, but Goodreads doesn't list this as a series, but I recognize the Redford name. And then when you start, so that's my familiarity with Morgan, but I felt a level of comfort with Drake. And let me tell you why I like Drake. Morgan and Drake fell in love in college. And as far as Drake is concerned, he could see marriage, 2 kids, and the white picket fence, right? The thing is, he already had 2 kids. Well, how did Drake have 2 kids in college? Well, his parents died. And when he was in college, his parents had passed away. And he became full-time guardian to his siblings, who I believe at that point were ages 2 years and 4 years. Or were they twins? I think they might have been twins. Yeah, they were twins. They were 2 years old, and now Drake is their father for all intents and purposes. So although Drake and Morgan really hit it off in college, it was love through and through. What happens? Morgan looks at this as, I'm not ready to be a mother. I don't even know if I want to be a mother. It's a ready-made family. So she leaves Drake high and dry. She leaves him, ends their relationship. She leaves college, and she leaves the country. Boom, 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 boom. She's out of there. So, will the fact that now Drake and Morgan are bidding for the same property be able to get past whatever is going on between them chemistry-wise? Because those dozen years or so that Morgan has left are almost non-existent. Those feelings, that power, that passion, it hasn't disappeared. It hasn't dissipated. But the fact remains, Drake is still raising his siblings. And their names are Aiden and Addison. And now they're 14 years old, freshmen in high school. And his responsibilities have continued, but there's nothing that Drake would not do for those kids. Meanwhile, for this property that they both want, there's all kinds of caveats in order to win the bid for that property. So, do they work together in this competition for the property? And if they do work together, what about the fact that Morgan wants it for these foster kids and Drake wants it because of the sentimental value involving his father? So that is your story. And like I said, it doesn't list it as a series, but Business Not As Usual popped right in my head because I remember the Redford family and the Redford siblings, and now we have this story here. Now, although Sharon C. Cooper, or from what I can tell, hasn't listed this as a series, I can see the other Redford siblings. And actually, I'm going to go to fantastic fiction because sometimes there's a wee bit more information on an author or a book than there is on Goodreads. No, In It to Win It does not list as a series or as a connection to Business Not As Usual. But I say read Business Not As Usual first and then read In It to Win It. So that is it for this book review. I don't know why it went so long. I just looked at the clock on my phone and I talked on and on. But I just wanted to encourage you to read this romantic comedy. By the way, it's multicultural, Black author, Black characters. And if that helps you to choose, if you like the diversity, then you get another reason to read this book. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.